Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of the podcast WIZLAND with Wiz. Happy to be with you guys today. It's been a couple of weeks. I think it's been actually a month since the last episode, but we're gonna get right into it. A lot of things have been happening behind the scenes. Thinking about content, thinking about things to talk about, and actually have a structure going forward where I will be creating an episode a week. And I will actually be releasing it more than likely every Tuesday and Wednesday on some occasions. So you guys can actually be expecting that. If you're new here, my name is Wiz. I'm currently an artist trying to build my own IP, which stands for intellectual property, trying to tell stories within the comic, within the animation, and also within the film industry. My main focus at this moment is to actually tell stories within the comic world and then eventually go into those different mediums and share my stories and my ideas within those mediums. In the process, I want to share the process. I want to share everything that I'm learning. I want to share everything that I'm going through and also bring information and share the process of the things that I'm currently enjoying because I don't work 100% of the time. My main focus is obviously in that business, my art business, but in that same token, I have a lot of things going on. I'm into sports, I'm into animation, I'm into anime, I'm into art, I'm into music, I'm into pop culture, I'm into a lot of things. But my main focus is art. So, having said that, what we're going to talk about today is going to be a little bit about sports and a little bit about self development. Because these are the main things that I've been thinking about and be interacting with the last couple of weeks. Where can we start this, man? Football is here. American football, for you guys that are from the United States, American football is here. I am a diehard Raiders fan. I've always been a Raiders fan since I was a young kid. It's been a very long, rough years of being a Raiders fan, but basically, we finally seem to have a really strong team. To be honest with you guys, I do believe that the Raiders are going to be better than last year. This year, just not only because of the offense, because also the coaching, and also because they did get some upgrades in the defense. The biggest holes that they've kind of had within the defense have kind of been taken care of for this year based on paper. So I just hope that they can stay healthy and that they can maintain the health throughout the year so they can actually compete. It is going to be a tough season based on their schedule. They have the hardest season. They have the hardest set schedule for this season. But it's going to be good, man. I think that if they're able to make the playoffs with this type of schedule this year, it's going to be a very promising two to three next years, where they might actually go into the playoffs and make some noise. But I do believe that this year is going to be more so of getting into the playoffs, and then once you're in the playoffs, at least winning one game, and then going forward from there. I think that as long as Mahomes, as long as Russell Wilson and Herbert are in the division, it's going to be a very difficult division. And I don't want to wish, obviously, injuries on any of these players, but that's the only way that the Kansas City Chiefs or the Russell Wilson and the Broncos are not going to be relevant. I'm not so much afraid about the Broncos, even though Russell Wilson is going to bring a different caliber of quarterback play to that team. But I'm very much so kind of afraid of the Kansas City Chiefs just because they want to prove that they're not dependent on any one player. And then the fact that Tyreek Hill is no longer there is going to definitely open up opportunities for Kelsey. It's going to open opportunities even for Juju Smith to come back and kind of show his caliber of play. And I do believe they have another receiver in Kansas City that actually is going to allow him to come up. I think they still got Pringle, they got Robinson. If I'm correct, if I'm not, I don't know because I really don't follow them like that. But it is going to allow other players to step up with the departure or with Tyreek Hill going to the Dolphins. But what can I say? The Raiders, they're 2-0 right now. And I'm not much of a off season type of guy. I don't like watching the preseason games. I don't do that. But I do keep up with the scoreboard. I do keep up with the highlights. I do keep up with who's playing, what's going on, because I am interested in the team. So regardless to say, that's going to be something that we're going to get into. I am thinking of doing a online draft for the fantasy draft this year. So I might actually share that in this channel so you guys can actually see how I think about doing my own fantasy team. And I think it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to kind of share that because every year for the last since 2013 I've been doing the fantasy thing. I've won actually the last two. I've came on the top two. I won the league last year, and then the year before that I came top two, and then before that I really sucked. So within the last 3 years I kind of have improved my picks, just based on me actually understanding the game as I participated in fantasy football. But I remember 2013, I went ahead and picked the Seahawks as my number one pick, which at the time I had no idea that you're not supposed to pick defenses at first, but it's more so of a running back type of league, because you can get the most points with running backs. But that's something I learned through time, and definitely gonna be sharing some of my thoughts and some of my strategies when I come into fantasy and the fantasy world football. But yeah, guys, today we're going to be talking mainly about something I've been thinking about, something I actually think about maybe once to twice a week, because it is something that it's that voice in my head, and I do think that a lot of people have this particular voice always in your head. Some people call it the bitch voice. Some people call it just your conscience trying to play tricks on you. But one of the things that I definitely do believe is that we are always going to be doubting ourselves. And if you're someone that is trying to achieve success, someone that is trying to grow as a human, someone that is trying to attain goals, this thing is always going to be in the back of your head. So it is a topic that has been talked about, that is talked about within the entrepreneurship community. I don't consider myself an entrepreneur because I'm not where I want to be. I'm just starting off. I'm thinking about doing businesses and things of that nature, and I do consider my art a business, but I don't use that term like that. I don't use entrepreneurship loosely because I'm not making considerably a high amount of money or an amount of money that I feel that is consistent. I don't feel that is high enough for my and I don't feel proud of it yet because I haven't put the work behind it. I haven't put the time behind it either. So it is going to take time before I take that word into that next level. But the topic is the imposter syndrome. If you've never heard of what the imposter syndrome is, it is basically you not thinking that you're good enough for whatever it is that you're doing in the process of attaining or trying to attain whatever it is that you're trying to attain. It is something that in a way it kind of tricks your mind to believe that maybe if you get some type of success, it's not good enough because you don't deserve it. But I think that I've learned how to kind of shut that off within the last maybe year or so. Because it still is something that comes in my mind. It's sometimes like for example, if you're into content creation, if you're doing things online, if you're trying to grow your brand, trying to grow your business, and you're not getting the engagement, or you're not getting the sales, or you're not getting the interaction that you're seeking, you might think that you're not worth it. You might think that you're not good enough. You might think that whatever you're currently doing is not worth sharing. But I truly believe that that's a very very falsified kind of thought. It's a false thought that you have created in your mind, because it doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just means that at that moment in time, there's a lot of space for improvement. There's so many things in so many ways and so many people online that sometimes your work is not going to be shared or noticed because you just have not put in the time yet, and I think that that's one of the main things that you have to think about when you're dealing with these type of things. Have you really put in the time? I think that that's the biggest disconnect that people in general have. I truly believe that was my own issue when I understood that it is going to take time, that even though we're in the instant society, meaning you have Instagram, you have Grubhub, you got Uber, you have everything is instant. Even though you live in that type of society, things in general do not happen that way. When you're talking about people that have become successful, they have not become successful overnight. They become, some people say, and I've heard this from several people that are very successful nowadays. They've said it took me 10 years to become an overnight success. And it's very true. It's like with every person that has become successful, you have to be able to peel back the layers and see where exactly they've come from. And you're obviously going to have those outliers where you're going to see that some of them did become overnight success because maybe they went viral on a video. Maybe they did something that actually was shared millions and millions of times. They got the attention. But like they say, you don't want to be a one-hit wonder. In the music industry, that's a big term. People that become one-hit wonders, they get that one hit and then you never hear them again. And I think that you don't want to be that type of person. You don't want to have that type of success. You don't want to have that type of success with business, with relationships, with anything, So I truly believe when you're dealing with that syndrome, which is the imposter syndrome, you have to think about, if you are thinking about that, you have to think about where you're starting from. You have to be real with yourself. You have to be able to relax, and you have to be able to understand that if you're doing something, what is the biggest reason why you're doing it? And a lot of people talk about understanding your why. And I get it. You do have to have a why of why you're doing things. But it's more so not only the why, but also what is your purpose behind what you're doing? Like, how long are you committing to do whatever it is that you're doing? For me, when I changed my mindset from thinking of always doing something and getting a return from it, I switched my mindset from just doing that and thinking that every time I do something, I need to get something in return from it. And I started to think about doing things that will eventually accumulate. And with compound interest, they're going to be able to compound through time. And then eventually, I'm going to get that payoff that I'm looking for. But it's not going to be immediate. It's going to be with years. It's going to be with work. It's going to be with time. And I think that once you switch your mindset to committing into something, whatever it might be, committing into it and having a guideline and a expectation in the future, then that is when things do change. That is when your mindset changes, because you're no longer entertaining that idea that maybe you're not worth it, or maybe whatever you're doing is not worth doing because you're not getting the results you're looking for at the time. And I think that, and I do believe that with time, you're going to learn how to develop yourself and get better with time if you're doing things and analyzing things as you should. So yeah, guys, my main kind of message with this today is think about what it is that you want out of the things that you currently are doing, whatever it might be. Have a set plan for the future. Have a set plan for the present as well. But never lose yourself within that kind of process or within that journey that you're kind of committing to, but commit to it. I think when I understood that it's going to take me years and years for me to get to the point where I want to be, I was okay with it, because I understand that this is going to be a life commitment. It's going to be something I'm going to commit for the rest of my life, regardless of how long it takes me, regardless of how long and it takes me to get to the point where I envision. But I'm going to one day get there. And when I get there, I'm going to definitely enjoy it. But then from that point on, I'm going to keep wanting more things, And I think that understanding what that means and understanding that, let's say you get whatever it is that you're looking for. And that goes to everything. You get whatever it is that you're looking for. Are you going to be happy and content? Or are you going to be happy and want more? And I think that is something that you have to be real with yourself. You have to be very real with yourself. For me, I know, for example, I have a goal, and maybe I never reach the goal, but I will always keep chasing the goal. And let's say one day I do achieve it, I'm going to change my goals, and I have to change goals with the financial success and things of that nature. I obviously want to have a family in the future. I currently have a partner. I'm very happy with my partner. But it's always going to be a growth. You have to be able to look for the best for the future, and you have to be able to look for things to get better with time. So yeah, guys, I do believe that will mark today's episode. If you think and believe that you are having doubt, just be real with yourself. Like sometimes we have doubts about the things that we do. Because we want to become the best that we can be at the moment. But sometimes your current status, what you have, that's all you have. So you have to be content with it. And you have to be able to take whatever it is that you currently have and be able to build on that with time. If you want more, I think that you're going to be able to attain more. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time for you to develop as a human. It's going to take trial and error to get better, and that's just coming from experience. Like, it's taken me years to kind of even be able to speak in front of a camera. It's taken me time, and you can kind of tell probably that I'm very kind of not hesitant, but I'm kind of like hyped up about what I'm talking about right now, because I am, but it's taken me so much time to be able to articulate my thoughts. It's taken me time and development and self-talk, a lot of self-talk about things that me telling myself, like, look, you want to do something, you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to be okay with not being good at it, and you're gonna have to keep working and moving forward. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Subscribe, share the content, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.